want us to come back to Luke chapter 19, some of the teaching that Jesus did in the temple during the great revival meeting in that first Holy Week. Luke 19, beginning with verse 11. As they heard these things, he proceeded to tell a parable because he was near to Jerusalem and because they supposed that the kingdom of God was to appear immediately. So Jesus is going up to Jerusalem. They think he's going to, again, set up his kingship because he is the king, Messiah is the king, and he is going to begin to rule and reign, and he has to teach them that that's not the way it's going to work. He said, therefore, a nobleman went to a far country to receive for himself a kingdom and then return. He's teaching them, listen, I'm going to go away, and then I'm going to come back and establish my rule and reign, what we call today the millennial reign of Christ. But I want you to notice some things that he says in this parable. He said, the first came before him, verse 16, saying, Lord, your mina has made 10 minas more. And he said to them, well done, good and faithful servant, because you have been faithful in a very little, you will have authority over 10 cities. And the second came, saying, Lord, your mina has made 5 minas. And he said to them, and you will be over 5 cities. Now, I want you to notice a truth here. We know from the scriptures, from Revelation, that we are going to rule and reign with Christ for 1,000 years. But have you ever asked yourself the question, what determines my responsibility of leadership during the millennial kingdom? What determines my assignments during the millennium? During that millennial reign, when I rule and reign with Christ, what determines my assignments? It's what you do with the talents and abilities that God has given you right now in this life. Now, you may look at that and say, but they're very small. He said, you have been faithful with very little. Very little. But now you shall have authority over 10 cities. I want to challenge you, brothers and sisters. What are you doing for Christ? Are you bearing fruit and fruit that remains? Are you using your abilities to lead souls to Him? Are you using your abilities to run Bible studies? Are you using your car to bring people to God's house? Are you using your condo or your home to have a Bible study and a source of light in your community? Are you using what God has given you and being productive? Your productivity for the kingdom in this life will determine your responsibilities to rule and reign with Him in the millennium.